not help making of all these resources to plants. So in the future, we're going to look at either having a drone surveying your farm, diagnosing their plants, knowing those that need water, the percentage of water they need, and having smart irrigation sensors that can supply plants the exact amount of water and nutrient they need. That's one of the approach for open agriculture. Now, we also have vertical farming. This is where it's being urbanized. So with vertical farming, you grow crops in rooms instead of the field. So you can have a warehouse where all the crops are grown. And these crops do not depend on environmental conditions like water or rainfall, sunlight, or sunshine. But they use what we call ultraviolet lights. So this is what the plant will use to process their photosynthesis processes. And then they don't use soil too. They use soil solution or mixture solution. Example of that, I'm sure you heard of hydroponics. So with hydroponics, you combine control, environment, and lighting, you have vertical farming. I think that's where the future is going. And I'm also thinking the future where everybody will end up growing whatever they eat. So if it's in your house, the future of buildings, you're going to have farms at the top of your roofing sheets where you can grow your vegetables in a very good manner. But when it comes to field too, we also have the rise of what we call greenhouse shelters. So we're having greenhouse shelters where even though we're trying to control the environment, we still want to have a partial use of the environmental conditions. So with greenhouse, you still use sunlight from natural sunlight, but you can control your irrigation, you control pests, but it still depends on sunlight. And with greenhouse, you can install robots to harvest, to irrigate, to fertilize, among others. On the field again, too, we are having the rise of mechanized robots. So we have robots for planting, for harvest, for spraying, drone spraying, among others. So all these new technologies are also going to shape how we grow crops and how we end up eating crops as well. I don't know if it answered your question. In the side of animals, even though we mentioned the lab meats, we're also going to see traditional farming using technologies. So we'll have robots that will be caring for the animals. You have sensors that diagnose them to know when they are sick, to be able to supply order to them. So it's going to be integrated in every sector of our economy. In the healthcare too, I didn't touch much on that. You might not have to go to hospital again, so probably you have to be operated. Because you're going to have wearable devices or the vitals diagnosing you and tell you when you're sick, and even predict it before it happens. So we might not even get sick, in quotes. Right? Because when you have more data about your health, you're able to predict what is likely to happen, and AIs are going to help you do the right thing to avoid getting sick. Right? So these are some of the things that are coming. You know, there are some cars, if you drink alcohol, the car will never spark. Right? So they have such cars too as well. So all these technologies are going to make sure they keep human beings safety and healthy and live longer. But yes, they have their consequences too as well, like unemployment, privacy, and all that.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ajman. One thing he said that's really got my interest. He said he believes a time will come where we would have to grow what we want to eat personally, which means you'd use AI skills to grow what you want to eat. If you don't have these skills, trust me, you will die of hunger. Any other questions, please? Any other questions? Any other questions? Okay, I see hands at the back.
Hello, Mr. Joshua. Please, I would like to know if there's a starting point that we could know for us to take advantage of the fourth industrial revolution. It's where we are supposed to start from.
Yeah, I think there is a starting point. I think the starting point is being aware of what is happening. Because at times people might think it's the economy, it's a system. These are forces beyond every human being's control. Right? So being aware of what is happening help you prepare yourself and plan towards what is going to happen. That's the first thing. Secondly, understanding what kind of skills that are needed or required is also very important. And we mentioned a number of them: problem solving, creativity, innovation, adaptability, flexibility, among others. Now, when all this information, the next question is, how do you get them? And I think having programs like this is a starting point. Having speakers and experts in their field come to share their knowledge with you is a starting point. What I would say is for you to discover your path. There's a formula for that. So there's education on purpose, because in the era where we have robots even going to be living with us in our home, right? So maybe your chef will be a robot, your nanny will be a robot. You know, some basic things in the house, human being will not be doing again. Being able to live with them, it means you need to find something more for human to do. So you start by finding your passion. So the formula for finding your passion, if you have a pen and paper or you want to make some notes, I think you should start from now, because this is where you start the journey to figure out yourself. We need to know ourselves, our interests, our passion. Once you know your passion, it helps you find the kind of professions you can pursue. We are not limited to only one job. In our generation, if your job is only one, you don't have one. So you should be able to have enough skills that can make you do a number of work. So finding your passion, you first have to ask yourself, what do you really love doing? So we have a list of things that we love doing. List as many as you can. Then the second question will be, what are you really good at? And after you list a number of them, what you're really good at. So the list that shows up in the first and second questions are your passion. So if you realize that maybe you love speaking and you're very good at speaking, then speaking is your passion. So make sure you can list as many. If you don't have them, it's okay. It means you have to get to know who you are. So you have to know yourself. I think that's the best way to start, because once you find the things you're passionate about, then you can start developing them along to build your career. So for example, if you realize you're good at speaking and you love speaking, it means you can become a professional speaker. Then you start the journey of building yourself into that. But a lot of them will come up. So me, for example, I never knew I was good at speaking. I don't think I'm still good at it, because it has never been something I wanted to do. I'm good at breaking things, right? And then fixing things. So that made me go into engineering, right? I'm also good at reading, thinking. That made me go into entrepreneurship. So when you discover more about what you're good at and what you love to do, it helps you find a number of paths you can follow. And it can be 3 or 4 things at the same time and be good at them and still love them. And that's what makes it fun. Because when you love what you're doing and you're good at what you're doing and it's paying you, the money is bonus. Whether money comes or not, you're still okay. But the money is a bonus for you. But when everything becomes the money, then when the money is not coming, you literally don't have a life. So ask yourself what you're really good at and what you love doing. If you want to find your profession, there's also a formula for that. You ask yourself what you're really good at and what you can be paid for. So for each of these questions, list as many things you're good at, and then list of things that you can be paid for. And the intersection of the two are the things that could be your profession. So you're not limited to only one profession, not in our generation. It's not guaranteed. So you can start from there, and once you figure out, you can start looking online for programs, courses, videos that you can start watching and learning to build yourself. And we can never stop learning. That's something we need to know. The moment you stop learning, you start losing your job, you start losing your life.
Thank you very much. The moment you stop learning, you start losing your job, you start losing your life. And you should know that it's not too late for each and every one of us to start. Any more questions? Good. So 1, 2, 3.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so my question is for those of us who want to start learning programming at a very late stage of our lives, what is the advice you have for us? I ask this question because I noticed that with programming, it tends to require a lot of creativity, critical thinking, and problem-solving skills. So at that late stage of our lives, what advice would you have to, for us to endure and push through?
Mr. Ajman, I would want us to take the questions together, then you answer them as a whole. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for the second opportunity given to me. in your presentation, we saw a sensitive Veronica bucket you did during the COVID time. So this is masterclass. You don't have all the time to give us all those knowledge. If we want to also design a sensitive Veronica bucket by ourselves, is there a way you can help us?
Okay, my question is, you get to know the usefulness of technology in the near future, but for the other side of us, it's connected to the server or the server world, it can be hacked and corrupted and other stuff. So, like getting the AI is a nanny. So maybe if the memory or the system is corrupted, it can also harm the child. So what are some of the essence of? Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you too very much, sir.
So 3-in-1 question. I think I can answer two questions with one. So you mentioned about programming being a process to acquire some skills. It is very true. I think I became good at what I do because I learned coding after high school. So when I studied programming for 9 months, I could be able to solve problems. It inspired me into entrepreneurship. And now I went into engineering. It's because I did coding. So coding is very good. And once you can start, I would encourage everybody to learn coding. In fact, when you go to Kenya, coding is a subject. All students are learning coding. And we also have here in Ghana, education system is changing. They've introduced coding, but yeah, we'll get there. But yes, I think coding is a great way to start, to build these skills. And we've designed a tool that can help you build over 200 experiments, and you learn coding. What I noticed about coding is that coding is very, very important. But what we have done with the kid is that this time you write a program, you see the impact of your program on physical objects. So for example, you build a circuit, you write a program, you compile your program, a light comes on, right? It makes learning more interactive and curious. Now you want to figure out, understand more. And I think that has been one of the best ways. I wished I've learned my coding. I learned the hard way. So we made it easier so that anybody who wants to learn coding, build electronics project, as you mentioned, like the bucket. This is a basic kit. Our goal was to design for primary school students, but I also realized that even when you're a tertiary and you're new to coding, you could still use it as well. So this will be a kit that I will recommend for any of you who want to learn coding or start your journey.
offering world-class university education.
Heritage Christian College, offering world-class university education.
Heritage Christian College, offering world-class university education.
Heritage Christian College, heritage.
Offering world-class university education.
Heritage Christian College.
Offering world-class university education.
Heritage Christian College. Heritage Christian College. Offering world-class university education.
Truth TV can be accessed on the multi-TV ticket box. To scan for Truth TV on your multi-TV decoder, please press menu on your remote control and select dish setup. Choose Astra 2A, 2B, 2D. Select blind scan FTA and yes from the channel search menu. Now press scan. Tune in to Truth TV and enjoy our wonderful programs. Truth TV, the truth liberates.